This is going to be my biggest trade in February. This is not a clickbait title. I do have proof to show you mathematically what I'm going to do exactly. Now, this opportunity doesn't come along often, maybe once every quarter, and you can't miss it. So I hope you have 5 minutes of your time, of your day to allocate to watch this show. Let's jump in. Now, if you have been monitoring the channel and you've been watching my 5 to 10 minute daily market updates, you know that I'm bullish. Multiple reasons. You can look at the lower time frame. There is a 15-minute higher high V-shaped recovery, then a 50% retrace up here. From there, an hourly market structure shift, and then a slow bleed down, meaning we have to have a bounce here. We have to. Now, this shouldn't make sense. I don't really want to talk about this because, again, you can watch the market updates every day and understand what I'm saying here. But all you need to know is that I'm of the opinion that this market is going to skyrocket. Now, it's not only the low time frame structure. If you look at the past month, this is how the past month looks. 𝗖𝗛𝗶, 43% down. Aptos, 44% down. Render, 30%. 𝗕𝗘, 24%. Arbitrum, 42%. All these, Solana, 40%. All these coins are completely exhausted. And that's combined with this chart on the daily and the weekly, Bitcoin down 38%. Combine that with the actual lower time frame confirmation for a potential reversal. Again, there is no reason why not to actually start taking long positions. Now, what you could potentially do is just simply take a long position. In my case, let's say that my stop loss is actually going to be more, but let's assume that my stop loss is $1,000. Well, I'm just going to go here. I can say this low is probably going to hold down here. So I'm just going to take a position today. I'm going to place my stop loss down here at 59,800, and then I'm going to target the daily equilibrium, which is on Bitcoin is going to be around $76,000, $77,000. On the total market cap, much higher. Therefore, I would say that realistically, I can target between $76,000 to $78,000 on Bitcoin. Now, this would be if you click on here, you would see this would be a 1 to 5 risk reward trade, which is not that good. Now, in this case, if I risk $1,000, meaning if the market goes all the way down here to 59,800, which it shouldn't, and I get stopped, well, I will lose $1,000. But if the market goes up to where I think it will go, I'm gonna make 1.5 times my stop loss, meaning $1,500, which sounds good. But what if I told you that the actual trade is not this, but to leverage this primed setup and not make $1,500 with a $1,000 risk, or not make $150 with a $100 risk, but actually make 5 times that or 10 times that? And the only way to achieve that is with a prop firm. Now, very important. Prop firm, if you don't know, I'm going to explain in a second. I'm not being paid. I'm not being sponsored by Bitfunded or any prop firm for that matter. I do genuinely believe this is one of the greatest opportunities you can do in February. And we do have an affiliate link. So if you use our link, obviously we got a cut off that. But very important, I can say whatever I want, and I would never tell you not to do this or never tell you what I'm doing if I didn't believe in it. So a prop firm, if you're not familiar, is basically a challenge. You can create a challenge, and if you pass the trading challenge, you can follow their rules. You can get a certain amount of trade for trade, and then if you pass the challenge, you can withdraw that profits. Now, very important. I know you're watching the channel, but if you don't, I am actually a funded trader. I do have an account that I passed, and I can withdraw profits from that account. You have different account sizes, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, and all one-step challenges is what I recommend. Now, I'm going to give you, obviously, I asked them for a great deal for us, which is, they haven't done this to anyone yet, so I'm going to talk about that in a second. But what I want to tell you is the actual trade. So instead of taking this trade, it got me thinking, I can just take this trade and be risking $1,000. And if I'm right, I'm gonna make $1,500. Sounds good. But $1,000 is the same price that I can get a $100,000 challenge. Actually, it's $800, bro. Anyway, how much is the Apex? Yeah, it's $1,000. So this is actually $1,000 that I can get a chance at getting a $150,000 count. Okay, the one step is $1,400, so the one step is going to be, yeah, $1,000 exactly. So $100,000 I can get for $1,000. Again, you can go into the 5 depending on your budget. If your stop loss is $100, let's say on this trade, well, here is what I'm going to do right now, and I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. So instead of taking a trade where my stop loss is going to be $1,000, I'm going to take a Bitfunded account, and I'm going to set the stop loss so that I lose the account if I'm wrong. But if I pass and I do make 10% profit, which is the profit target here on this channel, here on this challenge, is 10%. If I do make that, I actually get a $100,000 account to trade with instead of just taking the $1,000 profit that I would have taken here. Now, this might sound complicated, but I promise you it's not. Bear with me here, follow through, and I promise you it's worth it. Let's go. First things first, I told you that I asked them to make us a deal. Now what I asked them to do is to give us a special deal, which basically allows you to buy a challenge and get another one-step challenge, one category lower for free. Meaning, if you get a $150,000 account challenge, you get a $100,000 challenge for free. If you buy a $100,000 challenge, you get a $50,000 challenge for free, okay? So this is basically as an added bonus to your current challenge. This is a deal you can't get anywhere else. They said that they're gonna keep it on for 30 days, so depending on where you watch this video, hopefully, you know, the trade is already done by the time if you're watching it after 30 days. But this is an amazing opportunity, even if you're not gonna do what I'm gonna explain to you in this video. So check that out. There's a link on top of the description. You can see it down here, okay? That said, what am I gonna do? I'm taking a $150,000 account challenge. I'm getting a $100,000 challenge for free with it. That's a security. I'm gonna talk about it later. And all I'm going to do is take that $150,000 account and put it so that my stop loss is basically the invalidation of the challenge, meaning the max drawdown on the account. So you see these different rules. There is the max loss, which is 6%, which in the case of a $100,000 account is $6,000. I'm gonna make sure that my stop loss is $6,000. It's that simple. But here's the catch. If I lose $6,000 here, but I potentially make $9,000 here, the profit target is 10%, meaning if the market goes to my expected range, I'm not just going to make another $1,500, but I'm actually going to pass the challenge and have a $100,000 account to trade with. So let me show you how I sign up. First, you gotta click on the link on the top of the description. You can just click on there and then you will land on this page. The link is also in pinned comments, by the way. You land on this page, you can click on claim your 2 for 1. Then you're gonna land here. You can sign up, fill your details, and click on register. Then if you have signed up, you will be able to log in. And once you're logged in, this is what you're going to see. Now, this is a full new account. I don't have anything here. You just gotta go into the challenge and click on new challenge, one-step evaluation, and then you can pick what you want. Now, again, you can use two-step as well. I think even though the two-step is cheaper, I do think it's much more difficult. So I would rather get a smaller account with one-step than get a large account with two-step. It's just much easier to pass the one-step challenge, especially with this strategy that I'm gonna tell you. Now, I'm going to pick the Apex, the largest pack. You can pay with crypto, credit card, or whatever. I'm gonna pick crypto. You gotta fill out your details. You can click on place an order. Now, once I have completed the payment, whether you do it with bank card or you do it with crypto, you will see under challenges your account. Now, I have 2 accounts already here, but you will not see it immediately. Very important. They might take 24 hours to do it. If they don't deposit it for whatever reason, which I didn't see happen, but if it does, send them an email and they will deposit the account. But just so you know, so now I paid $1,400. I have the $150,000 one-step challenge account, and then I have the $100,000 phase 1 challenge, okay? Here's what I'm going to do. The lower amount, or you can play with whatever you want, but what I'm gonna do is the lower account that I got, in my case, the $100,000 account, I'm not going to touch it, okay? I'm gonna leave it there for security in case I'm mistaken, in case the market actually goes against me, and in case I lose this account, I still have this as a backup, basically for free, right? So I have this as a security. This is why this trade is so good, okay? So then I take the $150,000 account and I click on trade. Now, once I have that, very important, it works like a normal exchange. If you haven't, if you didn't know anything about, or if you don't know anything about Bitfunded, this works like a normal exchange. The only thing is that you have certain rules and criteria that you need to fill. You can actually just go back onto the challenge and you can click on dashboard and you can scroll down here and you see all the criteria. So for example, maximum daily loss can be over $6,000. So if Bitcoin falls $6,000 today, well, that means that we're gonna hit the mark anyway, and I'm going to get blown out. Therefore, again, just strengthening the idea, the thesis that I'm going to play here. Maximum loss, 9,000, you can't lose more than that, so the account balance can't go below 141,000, and the profit target is $15,000, which is 10% on the account. Okay, so that said, I actually have a full calculator here, which I'm going to post in the community. I have this free Telegram. There's a link in the description. This is going to be the second link. You can join in. I share my setups, my trades, my updates, everything that I do in here. So again, it just makes a lot of sense to join, especially if you're gonna go on this ride with me. And I'm going to drop this link right here, so when you join in, you will see it on there. But this is basically a calculator. You can fix whatever account you're buying. Let's say you're buying a $5,000 account, then you can calculate this and you see all the different calculations there. You can make a copy for yourself. That said, I'm taking a $150,000 account, and that means that my risk should not be more than $9,000. So I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna click on proceed to trade. I'm going to pick Bitcoin. I'm going to see what the low is. Again, you can take any other coin if you want. You can just simply look at any other coin you might see fit. Ethereum, the low, the stop loss would be down here. So therefore the stop loss is 11%. That's how I calculate my risk. Here's how I'm going to do this. In my scenario, I'm going to say that I'm going to take the trade on Bitcoin. Let me just X this out. On Bitcoin, and that means that the stop loss should be down here at about $59,600. That means that that is at about 11%. So I'm gonna go here and write in 11% risk on the chart. That will tell me if I take a 40,000, again, this is a $150,000 account, so you can fill it out for yourself. But this basically will tell you, or show you, or show me in this scenario, is that if I take a $40,000 position, $40,000 margin with 2x leverage, if the chart gets to my stop loss, which in this scenario 11%, down here at about 59,700, which I said, that means that I'm going to lose $8,800, which is exactly the limit of my account. You see here on a $150,000 account, it is a 6% loss, meaning $9,000. Okay. So that said, I can simply just go here. After understanding this, I adjust the leverage to 2x. I'm going to take a $40,000 position. I'm going to go market. I'm going to pick USDT. I'm going to say $40,000 position. At 2x, I'm going to take a long position. And I do have the position in here. Now, if you can't take the position for whatever reason, you might want to change from isolated to cross margin on the top right here, and it will allow you to do that. Now the magic happens, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stop loss and I'm going to set my stop loss to 59,600. But to be very honest with you, because I know that my stop loss is the liquidation of my account, I don't actually even need a stop loss. So I'm going to leave it like this. But if you feel better, I always say use a stop loss. But again, this is a specific strategy for passing this specific account. So if that's said, again, my risk is basically if Bitcoin goes down here, instead of me losing $1,000 on a stop loss, or if you're getting a $5,000 account, then losing $100 on a stop loss, now you're going to lose this account that you spent on you're going to lose the money that you spent on this account. But again, what I'm also going to do here is that I'm going to say I'm targeting $76,000, $78,000 because that's what I see on the chart. So I will definitely set down here a take profit level. I can change this to ROI, and I can simply say, I can change this to P&L, and I can say $78,000, which is $12,800 in profit, which is almost the entire profit that I need to pass this challenge. I would need another $2,000 to pass the account if my trade comes correctly. So instead of making $1,500 by risking $1,000, now I have a potential of making a $150,000 account by risking this $1,400. I'm not gonna say confirm, and that's that. You basically are done. Now again, very important. One, nothing I say is financial advice. Two, you see that I put my money where my mouth is. I do believe that this is an opportunity that doesn't really come along a lot of times, and you have an opportunity to take these trades and limit your losses because you would have obviously match the account size to the stop loss that you have. If you would have, let's say, a $100 stop loss, well, what I can say, hey, take a $5,000 account for $99. If you would have a $300 stop loss on this trade, well, why don't you just take a $25,000 account for $300? You will lose the same amount, but your upside is so much greater. I hope that you understand my thought process here. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment. We are going to be there and answer it. I do it also personally, and 𝗏𝗏 here with me also answers, so you get that. But the basic idea behind the trade is that instead of just losing a certain amount, you have a chance to increase your upside. Now, you don't have this a lot. You don't have this opportunity, especially not with the deal that we have made, where even if you get blown out, let's say that the market does reverse, let's say that I do think it wrong, let's say that it does close below here, against all odds that I see right now, you still have another account that you can just simply use because of the deal that we offer that you can get in the description. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're taking this and you're doing it. I think it's absolutely incredible, mind-blowing. And if we are going to complete it together, I'll be just the happiest guy alive. So let me know in the comment section if you are taking the trade. And yeah, join in the community where I'll see you next. Check out this video. It's going to be the daily update playlist. If you don't know who I am, my name is 𝗏𝗏. I think you get the vibe every single day, 5 to 10 minutes. I'll see you there. Take care.